in the room, and then we'll take some off soon. So, let's go first in here.
Coach, since this game officially kicked off the week back, Pat, we got know it's your first season in the SEC after considerable success at Oral Roberts. Just what does this week mean to you as a coach, and a week that's made in honor and awareness of Pat?
A huge honor to be the game that got to be played here for the We Back Pat week to start the week. But the other thing is just an honor for me as a coach. She's legendary. She's inspired so many people, even myself at a young age. So just an honor to be able to be here for this week.
What do you think went different the second quarter when things were tighter compared to the other 3 quarters of this game?
I think the biggest problem was our turnovers. I think we shrunk the turnover ratio in the second quarter when we were able to kind of close the gap. I thought we rebounded fairly well, but the biggest problem is when we had those easy putbacks or we had a chance for a second or a third chance, we didn't capitalize on those moments.
In terms of rebounding, I mean, Kim Caldwell hasn't been real happy with this team's rebounding. They've been out rebounded now third game in a row. Just what led to your success in the boards, besides the fact you do have some size to combat them down there?
We do have a little bit of size. We're still, a little bit outsized in some positions, but I thought our grit, and we just, took it personal that we wanted to really focus on rebounding. We have for the last couple of games, and I think my players have taken that to heart. Like I said, I think the biggest problem was not being able to finish on those second and third opportunities.
Turns the ball over quite a bit. They only turned it over 8 times tonight. Is there anything you saw differently on film versus what they did on the court?
I think part of it is we didn't full court press. We got back. One of the biggest reasons is because they're such a good transition team. We really wanted to get back and protect the rim. I think we did a pretty decent job of that. But we didn't get up in pressure and force those issues. I think part of it, they started a little bit bigger lineup to a certain extent. Obviously, their paint touches were hard to match.
Any other questions here? All right, we'll go to Zoom. Ethan.
Hey, Kelsi. Yeah, of course, you got to always credit Tennessee with what they do with forcing turnovers, but some of y'all today just seem pretty unforced. Just what do y'all have to do to fix those unforced ones?
We definitely had some unforced ones. There are a few that we actually had a decent, someone open and we made a poor pass. So I think making sure we come back to the basketball and obviously being more efficient passers is definitely going to eliminate some of those unforced errors.
Yeah, you mentioned it a little bit. Whenever y'all cut the lead to, 5 points there in the second quarter, what were y'all doing well during that spurt to have that type of result?
I thought we were guarding pretty well in that spurt, but I thought, the 2 biggest things, we weren't turning it over and we were rebounding. We were giving them one chance at the rim. And when you give them one chance and we were able to secure the rebound and we were trading buckets, we were able to be more efficient by limiting our turnovers.
And then, of course, the third quarter, they really kind of took control. What did your team need to do better coming out of halftime?
I think be more aggressive and be more intentional. We had a couple of careless turnovers, I thought, to start the third quarter, and we needed to be, like I said, handle the basketball, handle the pressure a little bit better, and just be more intentional.
Jada Bates got her first start. Just kind of thoughts on how she performed in that role.
Jada's really come on lately. I think she's really done a good job of getting to the rim, helping us get downhill. She can shoot the 3 ball, but her length helps us around the rim as well.
Real gauntlet of games to start off the SEC. A whole league slate's hard, but you played ranked opponents each time. You have an important game against Mizzou coming up this week. Just what do you hope that your team has learned from this slate of games against really, really quality opponents early?
Like you said, we've played top 25 teams every game so far. I think the biggest thing is they have to stay together. They have to stay the course and understand it's a process, especially in a rebuild and playing, in the best league in the nation. So we have to make sure that we stay together. We have to make sure we're mentally prepared and we continue to fix the errors that we need to fix in practice and embrace the grind and embrace just being gritty and staying together and embrace the process.
Last one I'll ask is y'all went some zone there, especially in the second half. Just thoughts on where y'all are at with the zone when y'all put that in.
We've had it. We just, haven't run it as much. But that's definitely something that we're working on so we can lean on it a little bit more here and there to mix things up.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Oh, sorry. I thought you had a question.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.